quickly so we can get straight into this.
Sweet. Just give me a countdown. We're about to get live comms.
We're in, mate. We're live, sorry.
Oh, we're live. Oh, fantastic. Hello.
Oh. Well, hello everyone.
Right.
I am Ditto. I am commentating tonight just to help out the technical difficulties, but I will let you take it away with Wogjet as he's finishing his lap, mate.
Absolutely. Yeah. So thank you very much for jumping in. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being very patient with us tonight. We've had some technical difficulties on the streaming side. Unfortunately, we weren't able to resolve. So we want to make sure that we are good to go. And yeah, I believe we're all up and running now. So just a quick update. Of course, before the last technical issue we had, Cooper the bot flew through the track, set a 109.955. And you can see on the grid layout right now, that is the top time ahead of Wogjet, who's also put in a fantastic time. Very, very small gap between him and Ricciardo. So the Aston Martins, who were 1 and 2 through the beginning of this qualifying, now find themselves in P3 and P4, still ahead of Pep. Bear in mind, of course, you only need to be worried if you are in the bottom 5. That's Flying Kiwi, Captain Bilkburn, or I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that, but Captain, the RB in P17, Deadly Fuller, Dan the Racer, and Jenneth Lee. So the two Alpines yet again in the drop zone, and we do not have a lot of time left in this session. 1 minute 40 to go, so they're going to have to get their laps in as soon as possible. Those are the 5 that we need to keep an eye on today. And yeah, Dido, it's going to be another banger in Div 4 today. Zandvoort's a pretty spicy place to go racing, and these short lap times are certainly going to increase the excitement.
Yeah, mate, it is, and it'll be interesting. As Clapton Blackburn gets absolutely sideways coming onto the main straight there. Yeah, it's an interesting one. Qualifying is important here, as we know. Just in the sense that you don't want to be at the back of the DRS train. Overtake's definitely possible here, but yeah, easy place to have an incident. We're just seeing some Blackburn just coming onto the scene in Rush, reserving tonight, looking good too. Needs a bit of a decent lap here though to get out of Q1 as we close the session. I don't think he's going to get out as he's looking like he's finishing up that lap, and he's got no battery to finish that one. Just having a look, Jenneth also needs a good lap here. Both Alpines, P19, P20, they really need a solid lap here. It looks like Dan the Racer will be able to start a lap just before the end of the session, so no issues there. Jenneth, that we're right on board with, as Alpine need a good result tonight come through, mate. They have struggled.
Oh yeah,
definitely have the drivers to pull in these results. They just it's just been unlucky for them lately. There's been a lot of incidents, and hopefully tonight they can start to unturn that.
Yeah, I mean, the results that they had in front of them that were looking good have all sort of just come unstuck, unfortunately, and they find themselves right down the bottom of the Constructors' Championship, only 21 points to their name. One fastest lap across the two drivers, so they do have the pace. We know they can do it. The question is going to be, can they pull themselves out of the bottom 5 right now and get through into Q2? We're just looking at Jenneth coming through the last corner right now onto the main straight. Let's see if this is going to be a good enough lap. Across the line we go, and unfortunately it does appear that he's going to be staying P20. So that is it for the Alpine driver of Jenneth. Will Dan the Racer have any better luck? He's got a couple of corners to go. Captain Blackburn, he is going to be stuck in P18 for RB. Flying Kiwi is in the pits. And looks like Paddock for McLaren is also going to be in the drop zone. So,
wow.
Yeah. Dan the Racer improves, but not enough.
Yeah, so both Alpines out. And a shock there for Panic too. He will be absolutely fuming with that. Has struggled in qualifying lately. We'll see if we can get these boys in. Salmons is safe just. But look how close these guys are in these times for the whole grid. I've seen a lot of zeros. Can't even Mars it. Going all sorts of places with that. Wogjet finishing his lap too. So that is your eliminations. Panic, Flying Kiwi, Dan the Racer, Blackburn, and Jenneth. So if we could get someone to tag those guys in to see if we can get them into the comms box to have a chat during Q2. But interesting stuff here, mate. Both Mercs through, both Astons through, both Williams through, both Ferraris through. One RB made it through, one McLaren, and one Ferrari. Oh no, both Ferraris. So
yeah, both.
Kick.
Yeah.
And Red Bull.
Honestly, yeah, and Kick have been amazing, right? I mean, we started the season with Kick Sauber basically saying, hey, we're here to fight for the top of the championship, both in the drivers and the constructors. Then it's just been a run of bad form for them and bad results that have just sort of dropped them off and out of the running. I mean, they're currently sitting in 7th now. So you got McLaren, RB Honda, and Red Bull and Williams above them in the Constructors' Championship, which is, you know, a completely different switch up to what we thought we were going to see. And of course, tonight we've got reserves coming in for Kick Sauber, so not able to field the people that they has started the season with, unfortunately. So yeah, Kick Sauber bringing in Cooper the Bot, obviously a big one there. I think I was talking to a couple of people in the background, and Cooper the Bot, sometimes we think that he's probably more of a Div 3, Div 2 pace, but he is here in Div 4 to fill in for Kick Sauber, and he has really set down the benchmark.
Yeah, he's doing well, mate. He's very quick. He is quick and quality. He's struggling in that race pace still, so we'll have to wait and see how he goes tonight. But interesting. That's annoying. Spectator mode comes up again, but interesting now. 15 through, and this is where it starts to get interesting and starts to compress a little bit, and very hard for these guys to get through to the 10. Don't think anyone's in the comms box just yet to have a chat, which is understandable for some of them.
Yeah, well, if I'm honest, you know, anytime you see in real F1 when the bottom 5 have to go and do their press conferences and interviews and things, they're not always the happiest bunch of people, unless your name is Valtteri Bottas, in which case I don't think he really cares anymore. But hopefully we do get someone in to have a chat, because sometimes it's just good to you know, understand exactly what's happening in terms of their performance throughout the season, and certainly round 7, now that we're here at a shorter track where you'd think that a pace difference would have less effect at a track like this.
Yeah, you would, mate, and obviously Bahrain, similar sort of track, I guess you could say, a little bit sort of the same sort of corners, but wonder if the weather's going to play. I don't know. Every time I've ever commentated here or raced here, it's rained, but it doesn't look very rainy at the moment, so hopefully they get a dry track. I'm sure they would be hoping for that. This is obviously the first round at Netherlands that we've had at Div 1 at Hungary last night, so, and then obviously Div 2 following this, so this our first race here looks to be nice and dry, but Ricciardo, both Astons out to start their laps soon. Everyone diving out, both Red Bulls, one Merc. Just don't know who's going to be eliminating this one. It's hard to pick, mate. These guys are extremely close, and like you said, you wouldn't have expected it. I thought we'd see a little bit more closer in some sense, but in another sense, just shows this full qualifying shaking it up all again.
Yeah, we've really had a subdivision of sort of capabilities within Division 4. I mean, we've had the top 5, always super fast, always super close. So some of the qualifying sessions we've seen this season have been just unbelievably close. You know, hundredths, thousandths of a second close between those top 5 runners. You know, the 2 Mercedes, the 2 Aston Martins, and then you usually have 1 or 2 who are extra familiar or extra happy to race at a particular circuit. Looks like Cooper the Bot's going to be one of those at the moment, but we'll see. I mean, you know, a lot of people don't want to maybe show the full capability of their pace in Q1 when they know that they're going to be guaranteed a spot in Q2, and there'll even be more who think, okay, well, I can do a sort of 90% speed lap in Q2 and just wait it out and show my full pace in Q3, but you can never guarantee exactly who's going to end up back on top or in that top 5. We shall see. The rest of the grid, though, I mean, you know, lots of close racings within that sort of lower subdivision, and not to say that they're not as good, but there's definitely been a pace differential between the top guys and the rest of the field.
Yeah, if we could just get Master invited, if you've seen that, mate. And Ricciardo sets the fastest time, obviously being first on track, 10.1, to set the pace, so we'll jump on board. Someone else now, Kotze is also on the lap. I think there's a few guys that are going to finish a little bit earlier than him. It might be a Red Bull, the other Red Bull, Summons.
Right, so we've got an invite out for Master, that should be there, and we've got a question in chat around, is there any way to can join the race? Well, to join the race, you have to join the league, mate. So find Rush Racing League on Discord, jump in, get signed up. You might be able to jump in as a reserve, potentially, but get involved in Rush Racing League. There's no way for you to join a race like this because it is closed seasonal racing.
Yeah, a bit late for this one, mate. Maybe next week, you never know with a reserve, but someone will jump.
Wow.
19.7 rapid time for the kick. not too far in front of Semi, but that is a big gap on this track. It's quite
Yeah, that's
hard
right.
to gain that much time.
Well, he did a 109.9 in Q1, so he's clearly said, I'm going to dial up the car, go even faster, and there we go. I mean, that puts him nearly 3/10 clear already. In fact, just over 3/10 clear of Gags KK for RB Honda. But yeah, I think a lot of people were just doing a medium lap for the most part in Q1, those who knew that we're going to get through guaranteed. I feel like we're going to see a lot more people jumping into that 109 point in rapid succession. That certainly is the benchmark. I mean, right now, you're going to need a time a lot higher than a 111.2, which is Metal God in the Ferrari. Also a reserve jumping in for Ferrari this time out. So you're going to need to have a lot of pace to start to battle for that top 10.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. If we're seeing these guys, I can't pick who's going to be eliminating this one, but we've got a few guys yet to set times. Jet, both Williams, obviously, Pep, Evil Blade, and Master. Hopefully he's back in and can get back into his car, no problems. But yeah, interesting pace. Cooper Revolt might not even have to go back out. He can just probably retire now in the pits, but we'll have to wait and see. Gags, P2, well, good solid time from him.
Yeah, and in a RB Honda as well. So, impressive time there. Has really got himself dialed into the track. And I was talking to Plugger a few moments ago. It is a bit of a shame that we won't have him in the commentary box this time around. And again, a thank you to yourself, Dido, for jumping in at such short notice. Really, really do appreciate you and what you do for the league, because you are an absolute staple here, mate. And always there to lend a decisive technical hand when the inevitable spanner hits the works. So big thank you to yourself. But I was talking to Plugger before, and we were saying, talking about how this track can be pretty brutal in terms of some of these corners. I mean, I find it a lot of fun. I love racing in a circuit like this, but it's high-paced and you really don't get a break.
No, absolutely not, mate. There's not really, obviously, apart from the straight, I guess you could say, in quali, that's a little respite, but in the race, you're constantly getting, people are trying to overtake you there, really, because that's the main spot to overtake. So yeah, no real rest spot, bit different to Belgium, and even Bahrain, I guess you could say you get a little bit more rest there, so the guys have to be on the ball. We'll see a few, maybe not in the higher divisions, but definitely in some, we'll get a fair few track limit penalties here, I believe. It's quite easy to get one, especially on that last middle sector. If you're trying to run a little bit lower downfalls, you can struggle. There's Pep in Mercedes, the dominant Mercedes. And he is leading that charge. You'll see where this puts him. He'll come across the line and it will go up to P3 with a 10.0. And look how close it is now at the top. Waljet's cracked into the 9s now, mate. So Cooper the Bot is now got something to look behind at, I guess. But Pep, Gags, Sammy are all there. Kotzi, Ricciardo, not that far off either, mate.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I thought there was going to be at least a few more that would crack into the 109s by now. We've still got plenty of time. Sector 3 yellow at the moment. That's just an FYI. We'll see the timer come back up in a few minutes. So 8 minutes remaining in the session. That 109.8 from Wogjet is very, very good. That would have been good enough to take top spot in Q1. Pep doesn't seem to have been able to find that barrier just yet. The 110.04 is a very fast time, but you look at it from the point of view of relating it to Cooper the Bot's time, that's 0.3 of a second. That is pretty significant given this is a very short track. I mean, we're only 2.6 miles around this track in length, so it is a short one. And yeah, 0.3 is actually quite big. Just puts it in a little bit in perspective how fast these guys are going. And to be honest, I'm stoked for Wogjet. It's great to see him up the top of the grid. We know the guy's fast. He's had an abysmal season in some ways. He's a fantastic racer, so I'm so keen to see him be right up there and at the moment on the front row of the grid. So if he can hold on to that, that'll be fantastic. Obviously got to get through another qualifying session. Nonetheless, just looking around the grid, Master Sucker's come up into P5 there ahead of Sammy the Slammer. Puts Kotzi in the Ferrari back to P7. Then Ricciardo, Dynasty Sparrow, Deadly Fuller rounding out your top 10. Those who are going to be unceremoniously dismissed at the end of Q2 include T. Salmons for Red Bull, then the colleague at Red Bull, Uncle Morty, who's jumping in as a reserve driver, then Two Door Gaming for Kick Sauber, Evil Blade, so McLaren's having yet another horrible qualifying session in P14 with a 110.8 in the pits at the moment, will be coming out shortly. And last but not least in P15, Metal God also reserving for Ferrari today. So those are your 5 who will be dropping out at the end of the session. They've got to do a bit of work to get up their cutoff time right now. Looking about a 10.5. Probably will end up around a 10.4, 10.3, I suspect. Tito?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And actually, Morty has been signed from time before for Red Bull, so he's here to stay for them.
Fantastic.
Salmons has just broken into the top 10 too, so he's knocked Deadly Fuller out with a 10.3. So P9, I don't know if he'll feel safe with that, but he's definitely safe at the moment. A lot of guys behind him could really improve their dynasty. We're going to see all these guys jump out of the pits, aren't we? And they're all going to try and knock them down. I think the top sort of 5 will be safe, but yeah, I'm not sure on this one. It's going to be interesting. I'm not sure who else is on the lap. Tudor, maybe?
Got Tudor, yeah. So he's just coming around the last corner. We'll see what happens. And I think it's Master Sucks just started the lap, and we do have T Salmon still lapping around. He's on his second hot lap.
He goes to P9, Tudor for 10.2. So he's another one that's, I don't know if he'll feel safe with that now that's knocked down Salmons to P10. He's in drop zone. Salmons should be able to get back to the pits and go back out.
Yeah, and I'm rapidly eating my prediction, Dito. I mean, you know, that's a 110.260. So that's already below the 10.3, 10.4 cutoff that I was thinking. And T Salmons is a 10.3. So, you know, getting the feeling now that cutoff point is potentially going to be a 110.1. Which is where we see Ricciardo and Kotze in P8 and P7 respectively. So there's got 3 cars in the 10.1s right now, and only just above them is basically the rest of the field. This is going to be another really close qualifying.
As Master, yeah, absolutely, mate. And like you were saying before with the free 10th gap, it could be something so small on track that Pep's missing, but this is where the full qualifying mind games come in, I think, and you're trying to look at the times and figure out where you lose your time. And it starts to creep in, and the pressure does. If you're up on the top, sort of P1, all quali, you start to get the confidence in. Cooper the Bot's managed to save some tyres too now, mate. He hasn't had to go out twice. So I think of some of these guys in the top 5 as well don't need to go out again. But
Yeah.
like you said, these times are getting really close for P10. It could be around a 10.2, 10.1. That's the cutoff, which is scary to say because that is super close.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've right now between, if I take P3 down to P10, we have 3/10. So 6/10 of a second between P1 and P10. Absolutely nothing. So well less than a second. We're getting pretty familiar with this kind of sight in Div 4. This is the point of Q2 where I start to get a bit nervous for some of the drivers because it is crunch time and they're going to have to get out there and do an absolute banger of a lap. And Metal God's out there. At the moment, we've got a few on the out lap. Deadly Fuller, Uncle Morty coming out on track. These are the guys in the bottom 5. They want a bit of clean track. They don't want any disruption to the air in front of them. So coming out early for a lap so they can get at least 2 in is a very smart idea. But as you said, yeah, top 5 probably don't need to worry about it for now. Stammer the Slammer is out. So P6 a little bit worried about holding on to that P6 area. And yeah, if you get any significant improvements from the 4 drivers behind him, he could find himself in the drop zone pretty quickly.
Yeah, I reckon everyone from him down will come out again. And he's not that far off Master, so it'll be interesting to hear. You never know what could happen. 2 minutes 40 remaining. Metal God doesn't improve. So he's in trouble here. He might have to try and save some battery and go again if he has the fuel. Uncle Morty looks to be the next on fire, so he's looking to improve. He doesn't need to do much to get into the... Oh, he does 3/10s. Pretty big ass sometimes, so fresh tyres for him. He'll have to push hard on this one. He's got a lot of battery still on his lap. But Morty,
yeah, we'll see.
And Div 5 driver, he's moved up, so he's doing quite well to get through to Q2, and looking like he could possibly get through. He'll actually knock his teammate out at this stage if he does improve into the top 10.
That's right. Yeah, if he manages that, it'd be an impressive feat, especially coming up from Div 5 from this season. Of course, we did have, I think it was Carly, correct me if I'm wrong, Carly, who came up from the previous, the lower division as well for this season. He's not in here today, of course. But a lot of these guys are cutting their teeth in those lower divisions, and Div 4 seems to be a melting point between the drivers who really are looking to go up into the top 3 divisions and those trying to make their name coming up from the bottom divisions. And that is a great time from Uncle Morty. It's a 109. 1:36.931. So just as we were saying, how impressive it is, even just to be in the bottom 5 in Q2. He's now decided that the top 5 in Q2 is where he actually wants to be, and that's a fantastic lap. I think that's going to make everyone worried. If they're not already on their out lap, I think they need to get out there. Gags is still in the pit. I don't know if he's absolutely safe today.
No, he'll be pushing it fine if all these guys behind start improving, because the track must be ramping up now. It's getting really close to the end of this session. So yeah, he won't have time to go out now. Anyone in the pits now won't have time. So yeah, this is interesting now. I don't know. Dynasty also in the Mercedes has been so dominant this season. That team has. So let's see if he can break out of this bottom 5. Got to remember quali isn't everything. Purple in that sector though for Dynasty 2/10 improvement. So this will get him out at this stage. Needs a big sector 3 though if he wants to be really safe. Almost everyone's on laps. Can't keep up with this one.
Yep, this is going to be a quick rapid session. Evil Blade also out on a lap. I'm sure Plugger wouldn't be too happy to see Dynasty Sparrow in P13. He's no longer. He's only, unfortunately though, able to get up to P11. So is that going to be enough? Does he have another lap in him? Does not look like he's got the battery to do that. So that is his qualifying over. And Dynasty Sparrow out in Q2. That is a real shock. We've got another mover. That is going to be Master Suck up into the 109s as well. He gets pushed out immediately by Pep, who finally gets a good lap, and he's only 0.02 of a second behind Cooper the bot. Great lap from Pep in the Mercedes, puts himself in P2. That means that we've got Dynasty Sparrow, Deadly Fuller, T. Salmons, Evil Blade, and Metal God. Oh no! And that's going to be his qualifying over. Yeah, completely over. Big caution in Sector 3. He's binned it on the second to last corner. So that's gutting. Q2 exit for the Red Bull when his teammate Uncle Morty is up in P6.
Yeah, big damage to in the front of his car, so he's definitely done now. Colleague well and truly over for him, but he'll have to make up some ground in the race. But here we go, everyone's time sort of wrapping up here. It looks like this is it. I don't think Metal God can improve. He's still 3/10 off Salmon, so he's starting 15th.
Yeah, Dynasty's done, but Evil Blade has managed to sneak up into top 10. So McLaren has made it through to Q3 this race. That's fantastic, and you can see how close Gags was to being exited from Q2 after not coming out of the pits at the end. Thought he was safe, found himself in P9, and that cutoff time, look at that. The cutoff time today was a 10.077.
Yeah, wow. Oh, wow.
That's absolutely ridiculous. So there was nothing in it, and we just look at the times between them. So we've got a 10.077 for P10, a 7.6, a 1300ths of a second back to P9, and then we've got 3200ths back to P8, and then we've got just under a 10th of a second back to P7, 4 1,000ths of a second between Uncle Morty and Sammy the Slammer, and then we go back another 13 hundredths of a second to Master Suck. And then the gaps start to arise a little bit, but, you know, it's absolutely nothing in it. Absolutely crazy times. And Richardo is your fastest for Q2. Q3 coming up soon. Top 10 shootout.
Yeah, this is getting really fast now. I mean, this is the best part of the track. I have tagged everyone to jump into the comms box. Deadly Fuller unfortunately can't. We'll have to wait and see if anyone else would like to jump in.
Cool. Hopefully we do get a few. We've got a comment in chat from Gag saying that he had a Code Brown moment.
But that is your top 10 going through to this. This is going to be an exciting session, mate. These times, I think you're going to have to be definitely in the 9s if you want to be on the top 5 in this one.
Yeah, for sure. We've got 7 drivers who are able to get into the 109s. So best one was a 109.6. So that means we still only had 3.5 tenths of a second between P1 and P10. Absolutely nothing in it. So it's going to be really, really, really good going forward. Now, we do want to get our eliminated drivers into the comms box. So for those of you who were eliminated, please do jump in. We want to see you. And we want to talk to you, even though I know it's a little bit frustrating sometimes to talk, but this is part of the order of events. So please jump in. And nonetheless, we look forward to 12 minutes of Q3 coming up. Will it be Mercedes back on top? Will Cooper the bot find his way to the top yet again, or will Richardo put that time in of 109.670 again to take pole position for the coming race? This is going to be super, super exciting.
Absolutely, mate. And we've just had Tudor jump in, so we'll kick it away with him, have a quick chat with him. Tudor, mate,
Sounds.
unfortunate result there to be eliminated in Q2, but
E.
don't know what
Oh,
happened there,
it was
but still,
random.
yeah, still very good to obviously get out of Q1, and we're seeing how close it is on this quali session at the moment. It's super close, and obviously the cutoff time being a 10.0. I mean, that's a tough ask for anyone. So just tell us a little bit about that, mate. In that sort of last few minutes, did you know you weren't going to get out, or did you just not get the lap in you wanted to, or?
The last lap I did, I just stuffed it up.
Yeah.
The other 2 laps I did were on scrub sets, so pushed on that last set with new tyres and just didn't get the lap I wanted, really.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, mate, but obviously not the end of the world. You're still starting in a relatively decent position, and obviously a long race. Some work to do to get through the session. How do you think your teammate's going in this one, mate? He's obviously through to Q3, has been rapid for Q1, Q2. You're going to try and obviously get up there with him and try and sort of get a good team result in this one, or what's your take on how he's going?
Yeah, he's going good. Yeah. Just learning from him and just try and get up there. I mean, I'm reserving upper division tonight, so
yeah,
I'm just aiming for points. That's my main goal tonight. Do the best I can for kick, and yeah.
No, well, good job, mate, and obviously, hopefully we see you chop through the field in the race, and I'll pass you over to Comfort if he has any questions.
Absolutely. Yeah, big congrats there, and commiserations as well. But, when you're coming up from a division, what's the mindset? You're in amongst all these drivers that you go, man, these guys are quick. You see your teammate come in as well, and he's right at the top of the tables, and then there's nothing in it at the top. But what's the mindset there in qualifying when you're seeing that? You just have to block it out and keep your head down.
Yeah, you just gotta do the best you can, really. Just put the best lap you can together, and just do the best you can, sort of thing, and just try to stick with these guys as much as I can.
So tell us a little bit about your thoughts at Zandvoort, because obviously the Dutch Grand Prix has only been back in in the game and of course in real life for a few years. So it's not one that everyone's driven at necessarily. But do you love it? Do you hate it? What's your favorite part? Tell us a little bit about your thoughts.
Well, I got my first league racing win a couple of weeks ago at Zandvoort, so I am looking forward to it. So it should be a good race, and yeah, it's a good track. Not a lot of passing, but I just try and make my way through the field as best I can, and yeah.
That's right, and don't do a Daniel Ricciardo into the wall.
No, I don't want to break my hand.
That's right. All right, cheers, Tudor Gaming. Really appreciate it. Commiserations for the result, but good luck in the upcoming race, mate. We hope to see you maybe back in here at some point. Either way, hopefully you get yourself some good points today.
Cool, thanks, guys.
Thanks, mate. That looks like all we can get in to have a chat, which is unfortunate but understandable. So we do understand that sometimes it's frustrating not getting through to the end, but thanks Tudor for jumping in the chat. Interesting there, his teammate now P1. Look how close it is, mate, from P1 to P3.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
9 1,000ths of a second between P1 and P2. And Ricciardo, the first lap, he was the first one to come out and 109.661 straight off the bat. It was a 670, so he was 9 1,000ths off faster than his time from Q2, and he's managed to go even faster than that. But yeah, Coop's kind of beat him to the punch on this one. Currently in the pit, and it's really going to be up to Master Suck to see if he can get any closer. But already 4 drivers in the 109s, and the cutoff time here is, for Q2 it was 10.077. We've already got 5 drivers faster than that. Kotzi, Evil Blade, Uncle Morty Pep, and Sammy the Slammer are the ones who still need to set a decent qualifying lap out there, and we'll see exactly what happens. But I mean, these guys, it's as close as it comes. I mean, razor sharp in terms of the difference between these guys right now.
Absolutely, mate. And Pep's just gone fastest in the first sector, so he is pretty much alone out on track, other than Master, and he is probably the last chance Merc can get to try and get a P1 here in qualifying. Obviously, Dynasty is out, and Pep has been rapid this season. He's down to 22%, goes fastest in the second sector now. So this is looking like a very, very good lap for Pep. The Williams TV, he'll try and just get the apex there, no oversteer, uses all the curve DRS on, and he will burn the rest of the battery to the line. This should put him somewhere in the top 3. Maybe even EP1. Goes P3, 109.6. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers that we're having to look at to say, oh, yeah, no, there's a decent gap there, are in the hundredths and the thousandths of a second. I mean, that's 36 hundredths of a second away from Ricciardo. And about 45 hundredths away from Cooper. So that's less than a tenth of a second. We're talking about absolutely nothing. So close, but not close enough, unfortunately. No cigar for Pep. And Mercedes dominance is looking a little bit in jeopardy here, I have to say, Dido.
Yeah, sorry, I smashed the mic then. But yeah, they won't be happy with that in a sense. But P3 isn't the worst spot to start. But obviously 5 minutes to go. Still a lot of times to come out, and a lot of guys coming out now on outlaps, so I don't think that's where we're going to see the end here. I think a lot of these guys still have something to say about that. You can leave
for sure.
Coming out pretty late here because the lap's not that long, so they'll be trying to get the track
exactly
as best as it can be.
Yep, you'll be wanting to run as close to the end as possible, and preferably on a nice fresh set of tyres. Pep does come into the pits, so we've got a couple on outlaps right now. Gags for RB Honda, and then Kotze for Ferrari. And Kotze's just about to come across the line, and he's starting his hot lap. Got 60% of battery on board, so a decent amount. Let's see, he does navigate turn 1 pretty decently there. So that's Tarzan, Bocht, and Bocht, of course, the Dutch word for corner, I believe. It's the last time I googled it was the word corner, so hopefully I get that right. Through Hugenholtz, lovely section up here through Hunsrug and into Slootmaker. It's a nice part of the track here, really fun. This is probably the favorite part of the track for me here, Dido. Up through that long section after the sort of hairpin at turn 3. It just snakes left and right, and it's just a lot of fun, flat out.
Oh, absolutely, mate. You can't be more right there. I mean, this track has its pros and cons for sure, but that middle sector is definitely a highlight on the calendar. Kotze's gone fastest in that middle sector, so he's looking really good here. And Kotze's been quiet this season, but we know how well he can drive, and if he can get a solid time in here, I don't know if he'll get it. Wow. Let's get back out though.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he was about a centimetre away from getting track limits, and yeah, he's actually going to come in, so must have been validated on that one. That's a real shame for him. But we'll see. We've got Gags on track, so he's coming around the last corner here. Is he going to come in too? Yes, he's in too. So everyone will be in the pits, and we are reset with 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go in this Q3 session. At the moment, Cooper the bot on top. And then it's Ricciardo for Aston Martin, Pep for Mercedes, Master Suck for Aston Martin in P4. And then your third row of the grid is Wogjet for Williams, RB Honda, Gags for in P6, and then Kotze and Evil Blade, the Ferrari and McLaren lineup on the fourth row of the grid, followed by Uncle Morty in the Red Bull, doing a really good performance so far, getting himself into Q3. Excellent work, but he hasn't found a time that's anywhere close to the time that got him into Q3 yet, so expect to see him go faster. And then, of course, in P10, Semi the Slammer for Haas, who is now out on his outlap.
Yeah, he hasn't set a lap yet, so he's leaving it right to the last minute. Maybe trying to save himself for the race. But interesting here, he will have 2 minutes, maybe just going in a little bit earlier to beat the traffic, and in case he has to go again. But Semi
it's a high-risk strategy.
Track, and it is. There's a lot of pressure to put on yourself, but he maybe just try to save a set of tyres, mate. That might be the next thing. He might have to use an extra set to get to Q3.
Right, yeah. Well, we shall see. He will have time to go around for 2 laps, so he's given himself enough time for 2 laps, but of course that second lap won't have the ERS that he's going to need to set a fast one, so really it all comes down to 1 lap, and it's not started well. He's absolutely cooked it. He might have to abandon this hot lap and just go for the next one. There's not really much point in trying a lap with that going on.
Yeah, big moment there. That was almost lights out for Sammy. He'll be a bit nervous about that, but he lapped away. He went out early, I guess. He has a chance to go again. So yeah, lucky there. Masters will be the first to start a flyer.
Definitely will be. Everyone else is out on their outlaps now, except for the RB Honda of Gags. P6 sitting in the pits. might not be coming out at all unless he's just come out. Yeah, he's just come out, so he will have time to get around. But it's got to be a pretty speedy outlap there from the RB Honda. Otherwise, he's not going to make it to the line. We shall see. But this is going to be where the crunch time happens, ladies and gentlemen. Get your predictions into chat if you want to. Tell us who you think is going to come out on top, because as per previous Division 4 qualifyings, we have absolutely no idea, because it is just too close to call.
Yeah, way too close to call, and it's looking really dark, I must say. Really overcast. But Master, on his last lap for this session, flying in that Aston. We know how quick he can be, and he's not that far off pole, so any little improvement here. He's a little bit slower in the first sector. Needs a big sector here to try and get to that P1. But any mistake here and this lap's over, this time has to be something special to beat these guys in front. He's got his teammate
we do have a request in chat. Dido, you need to turn your mic up a little bit. Apparently you're quite quiet on the stream at the moment. That's just an FYI. And sorry to interrupt you. Please continue.
Yeah, I will try and fix that somehow. But Master,
cool.
Obviously finishing his lap. He's got a lot of batteries still to burn here. Right to the line. We'll have to wait and see where this puts him. I don't know how far up he's going to go with this, and it doesn't even move. So he improved. He actually didn't improve. Sorry.
He did improve. Yeah, he's now 1/1000th of a second behind Pep. So that's going to be gutting for him. But he will start potentially on the second row of the grid. No, Wogjet goes faster with a 109.545. Wogjet in the Williams to the top. And it's taken away immediately by Ricciardo. The Aston Martin driver has taken it away. What can Cooper do? He's going to come around the last corner right now. Let's see what he can do. He's using all that overtake possible. And across the line, will he get P1? No, he doesn't. He does improve. Look how close that is at the top. All top three drivers in the 109.5s, Dido.
Yeah, wow. And Gags is just invalidated, so that's it. That's wrapped up. And what a quality.
Wow.
Ricciardo, Wogjet, Cooper the bot, Pet Master, Sammy, Uncle Morty, Coxie, Gags, and then Liquid Blade. What a race we have. Mate, that is 4 times.
This is going to be a great race. I mean, the qualifying on fire as it usually is. That is 0.006 of a second between P1 and P2. And Wogjet, oh, he'll be absolutely gutted to have that taken away from him. Ricciardo, just at the last moment, at 11:59.59. And Ricciardo says, you know what, that's going to be mine. So well done, Ricciardo. Aston Martin driver has taken pole position. We'll get some of the guys in for the top 3 interviews because, wow, we need to have a chat to these guys. That's so close. All 3 top drivers in the 109.5, and that is crazy. We've got yet again a 0.6 gap between the top of the field and the bottom. And you can see right there, if you look at the gaps on the right-hand side of your screen, 0.006, then 0.040, and then 0.105 between those guys and P4-5 to the top. But look how close it is. 1/1000th of a second between P4 and 5 and 5 and 6.
Yeah, it's super close, man. I'm just trying to fix the mic before we go green, but
no problem at all.
Yeah, you keep talking for a sec, mate.
No worries. Yep, hopefully we'll be able to get that all sorted out and get Dido turned up a little bit. So here we go. Yeah, absolutely nothing in it, as usual, as expected from Division 4. So fantastic stuff, and this is going to bode well for a great race ahead of us. And it's a slightly longer format, of course, for this race out here today. And looks like pretty sunny weather out there too, so all good on track at the moment. And the Dutch Grand Prix. Round 7 here in Season 8 at Rush Racing League. And again, big thanks to our sponsor, AI369, S Nation, Pagnion, and I believe there's another one, Sim Labs as well. So big thanks to all our sponsors, and a big thanks to the admin team and stewards in the background. Big thanks to the drivers and team managers too. You guys all come together to create a fantastic event, and we're stoked to be broadcasting it to you guys tonight as well. Again, apologies for earlier on. We had some technical difficulties. Luckily, it was only a few parts of Q1 that we did miss, but we managed to get that all sorted for Q2, Q3. Here we go, Dido. Over to you. Well, and it's lights out. I'm not sure if Dido's back, but lights out, and this good start for Ricciardo. Pep has made an early move on Wogjet, and around the outside is Cooper the Bot in turn 1. He's managed to take that away from Wogjet early on. Master stuck in there for Aston Martin, not able to get a position gained at all. Sammy the Slammer still holding on to P6, but it is Ricardo that takes us away. Through turn 3, big movers in the background. Uncle Morty dropping a chance to Kotze for the Ferrari, and a yellow already in this race. And it looks like Dan the Racer has had a bit of a problem early on in this race. We shall keep an eye on that situation to see if any foul play was involved. But Ricciardo already out to a 0.5 second lead. Cooper the Bot around the outside of turn 1 makes a brilliant move. Wogjet got all out of shape on that start. Either wasn't prepared or just did not get the grip off the line. And that is a fantastic start for both Aston Martin and Mercedes, who are both leading in our Constructors' Championship. Ricciardo will be stoked with that one. I do believe we still are waiting for Dino to come back. Looking down the rest of the field, Kotze Gaming in P9. I'm going to try and get a bit of information up, at least on my side, so I can tell you about the position changes. 2 positions up for Pep, and he's getting overtaken now. Pep is getting overtaken by Ricciardo. Sorry, Ricciardo is getting overtaken by Pep, and Pep has found himself right up at the top of the grid. He's on the soft tyres, whilst Ricciardo has started on the mediums. That is why we are working to get the stream back. Do not worry, folks. I believe we may have had a bit of a problem with our main broadcaster. We will double check.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
I don't know if that's fixed, but we will just go on with the stream.
Fantastic.
Anyway, looks like...
Here we go. There we go. Cool. So Ricciardo there, overtaken, of course, by Pep. So Pep found his way through. He is on the soft tyres. So he has got a tyre advantage early on this race. That's why he's up 3 positions. Ricciardo and Cooper both on the medium tyre at the moment, followed by Wogjet, who's lost 2 positions in this race already. Other big shakers and movers. Captain Blackburn for RB Honda up 5 positions from P19 to P14. And Deadly Fuller was the one that had an issue early on in this race. He's dropped 5 positions, Dido.
Yeah, he has. I also saw, I think it was Salmons in Kiwi have some issues there. It looked like he lost an end plate, but no issues I can see on the track. Maybe just a bit of debris getting generated itself, but interesting strategy too. Some guys going on soft, some on medium. So Pep trying to break away, obviously on the softer tyre, 4/10. Now he'll have to try and get out of DRS though, unless he has some type of plan here. Dynasty down in P12, he'll be hoping his teammate there on the same strategy can get up through the field. Yeah, unfortunately for Wogjet, but Cooper the Bot now P3 trying to break away from him. Yeah, that's right. And it's actually interesting. This is an interesting start there from Pep. I mean, he didn't start on the top spot, which is where he's used to. And he's thinking, track position might be a good thing to have. The problem is he's now pulling along these medium runners in his slipstream at the moment. And Ricciardo and Cooper the Bot, they can just put the foot down, keep close to him on the softs. And it's really neutralizing any advantage that he's got being on those soft tires. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. I'm still getting saying that the audio is too quiet. Not sure why, because, I don't know how to fix that. But
very odd. We will continue to try fix that. Oh, we nearly had a car run into the back of another, and that's going to be Gags for RB. He is already jumping into the pits early in this 36-lap race. We've got about 7 soft runners out there. Evil Blade, Dynasty Sparrow, Panic, including T. Salmons and Deadly Fella, all on the soft tyres. And hard tyres look to be the choice for Gags. So he's going to try and run very, very long in this race. Not quite sure if that's going to be the strategy that he wants to be on by the time he gets to the end of the race, but we shall see. We've seen it work in the past, in previous rounds, but at a track like this, you're going to be losing a lot of time around a shorter lap with those harder tyres. Nonetheless, good to see the McLarens up there. We've got one in the top 10, Evil Blade, and then Panic not too far behind in P12.
Yeah, there's a lot of battles forming. The McLaren's trying to work together to get through the field here. My mic's fully maxed up, SJ, so I don't know how to make it any louder.
It's sounding a lot better on my side.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But Dynasty trying to stay with Evil Blade here. He's got his Panic behind him. Just trying to see. There's a few gaps forming, but everyone's still relatively close. Obviously, Gags having to pit early, which is unfortunate for him. He'll have to try and hope for a safety car or something, which isn't impossible here. So yeah. wait and see. Deadly Fuller making a position up on Deadly Fuller. Oh, sorry, on Sunny.
Oh wait, can I overtake myself for position? That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'll take that. I'll exploit that any day of the week.
Yeah.
So
Make
good.
my
You
mic-
are getting eviscerated in chat about your mic volume, but nonetheless, we'll continue. See if there's anything else that you can do on your side. There probably isn't, so no worries there. Around the grid as well, Pep is still leading these guys, but I mean, I'm really worried for him. I think it was a great idea to start on the softs in some aspects. He's got track position. He's managed to get the overtakes early on, but actually now he's really falling back into the clutches of Ricciardo and Cooper the Bot, who are just I think they're both just biding their time. They're just going, yeah, this guy's on soft tires. Let's just chill, wait for them to degrade, and then we can make an overtake.
Yeah, mate, my mic is on max. I don't know if they can hear me, but I don't know what else to do.
Okay, we can. The only other thing to try is maybe an OBS. There's a way. So if you want to temporarily mute my mic too, so that no one can hear me, I can walk you through some of that.
Anyway, we'll see if that works. Wogjet and Kotze still, Wogjet and Masterzak still battling out. Really tight here. Wogjet's really getting frustrated. Looks like he wants to get this move done way. Looks like it's all sorted. So Wogjet, trying to chase down the two Astons. Ricciardo's still in DRS. Master's still in DRS of Ricciardo, so he won't get the benefit of that. Just looking at it, who else is really battling here? Sammy on the back of Kotze. We'll have to wait and see, mate. Tudor also looking like he's going to try and join that party. A lot of guys looking like to make that ground up early in this race.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, Kotze is 2.6 seconds behind Wogjet right now, so a bit of a gap there. But I mean, Master for Aston Martin is actually catching up to the back of these guys. And they have, while we've been on the black screen temporarily, they've been trading places all over the place. Cooper the Bot did manage to find his way past Ricciardo. Ricciardo briefly overtook Pep once again, but Pep has been able to hold on quite nicely in this race so far, despite running on now very worn super soft tires, or soft tires, I should call them. It is lap 8, so they will be in a not ideal state, that's for sure, and certainly the crossover for the mediums has already happened. The question really is, can the two behind him use the DRS effectively and really ruin the race strategy that Pep is trying to execute right now?
Yeah, it'll be tough. Ricciardo, Cooper the Bot, and Pep all wouldn't DRS each other. Pep's tyres definitely would be in trouble. So yeah, we'll be waiting to see when all these pit stops start to happen now. I'm not sure who is the favourite in this race. I think Pep, Cooper the Bot, but the Astons are looking really strong, mind you.
Yeah, I mean, I think the medium runners have probably got the advantage here. I mean, starting on the soft tires, and then with the way that it crosses over, I mean, he just hasn't had any good pace advantage. If you're going to start on the soft tires, you really need to pull a gap, and then otherwise you're really just helping the medium runners. And look, there you go. Cooper the Bot is going to go for a move now at the front of the grid. I'm not quite sure the cameras are pointing right now, but Pep might even lose 2 positions. He does. Ricciardo gets in front of him too. So that's all over for Pep right now, and now he's going to be the one in chase. Obviously, he'll still have a little bit of grip left in those soft, but, you know, absolutely no speed down the straights compared to those guys with DRS, and he's been overtaken hand and fist there by Ricciardo and Cooper the bot, and now the medium runners are in the box seat.
Yeah, I would definitely be rather being on a medium at this stage of the race. But yeah, this race is anyone's game at the moment. Still looking a little bit overcast. Doesn't look like it's rain-worthy though. So the guys will just have to deal with a little bit of subpar conditions. Evil Blade, look how close he is on the back of Uncle Morty here. Really welcoming him to the division. But yeah, this is awesome racing so far from these guys.
Certainly is, yeah. I do want to. The only thing I can think of for Pep right now is he has spent 8 laps holding up those 2 medium runners. So he's spent at least a couple of laps where the tyre has been, worse than the mediums holding them up. So he may have done enough, but I don't know, 2 laps holding up medium runners, and they're going to switch onto the softs and maybe have track position over him now. That's going to be a tricky one. Evil Blade now going for a bit of an overtake. Got DRS. He's on the softs as well. Might be an opportunity to get himself in front of P9. Uncle Morty, will it be? No, because of course Uncle Morty gets the slipstream and the DRS as well. Big slipstream train there, all the way down from Two Door Gaming. It's a 6-car train right now.
Yeah, it's awesome to see, that's what we want to see. It's Captain Blackburn and Kiwi go side by side through turn 1. Good racing there from those two. So everyone battling for points there, still battling for the P15 position, which at Rush does entail a point.
Oh, little mistake there from Uncle Morty as they head down towards a beautiful turn 8, and that's going to be an inside line for Evil Blade. He's done it beautifully. Was able to psych out Uncle Morty a little bit there through the S's and into turn 8. He's done it beautifully and gets the position of the move through turn 9. Now turn 10, you can see he's well ahead. So that's excellent work by Evil Blade. Uncle Morty just making a little bit of a mistake, unfortunately.
Yeah, he'll be frustrated with that, but still a long race. Still in DRS of Evil Blade and the guys in front, so he won't be too disappointed, I guess you could say. Kotze.
As long as you're in the train, then you're okay.
Yeah, and there's a change for the lead. Cooper the bot into P1. So
oh yes,
these guys are still battling for that P1 position. And Pep, is starting to struggle on the soft tyre, you would say. 10 laps now.
Oh yeah.
Really hoping that the pit strategy comes soon.
That's right. I mean, how long do we think the mediums are going to last here? He's already out to a 0.5 second gap between Pep and Ricciardo, so he's lost a bit of time, but he's still holding on somewhat. You can see through the higher speed corners, he's not got quite the level of grip that he needs to, so he's probably having to just lift the throttle a little bit, maybe. Probably not through that area, turn 8, but certainly in some of these other corners, he's not looking quite as comfortable out on track. But are we thinking the mediums are going to go, 15, 16 laps, maybe more, 20 laps? Is it possible?
Yeah. Yes, I guess, but they would. It's one thing to be possible. It's one thing to be fast. You don't want to lose too much time, so I'll have to wait and see with that one. But pit stops, I would say, would start to happen. Sorry, you'll start to see happen with the soft runners soon. Maybe like 15, 12. We'll wait and see as there's a change of lead again.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, these guys are just going back and forth, and it will stay like that. I mean, they're on the same tyre, Ricciardo and Cooper, but it will continue to chop and change. They're really costing themselves, though, with these overtakes. I mean, at the end of the day, they're just keeping Pep in contention, and right now, this is working to Pep's advantage, being on the soft tyre. So if this continues, Pep will continue to be able to keep up with these guys, and then he'll have a nice, long, and pretty fast stint on the medium tyres towards the end, so it could work out quite nicely. That said, we shall see. I do also want to call attention to the fact that the only person we interviewed... Oh, and Cooper's gone off track. Big off-track moment there at turn 8. He's managed to get it back on track, but it's cost him a lot of time. 1.2 seconds now, the gap. And Cooper just absolutely sent it onto the gravel. That's not going to be great for his tyres. Just coming back to the point I was making just before, Two-Door was the only guy that we talked to in the interviews for his exit in Q2. He's up 5 positions to P6, so as we kind of said, and as we kind of predicted in a way, he's got his head down. He's done really well early in this race.
Yeah, he's obviously happy with this track, and he said that he had a win here not long ago. So he's definitely done his practice here. So good result for Kick if they could finish where they were right now. Cooper the bot now back into DRS of Ricciardo, so he did well to close that up. And as we're talking about Two-Door, he does get overtaken by Sammy.
Yeah, I think you might be able to call that one a commentator's curse.
Yeah, I reckon too. He'll be probably happy though to stick in the DRS of Sammy and see if they can work their way up to Wogjet. Who Wogjet's also looking really close now to Master, which is probably one of the closest on track. Really looking like he wants to get past here. He needs to get past to catch the guys in front, but Master's not going to get out of the way.
You certainly were. I mean, Wogjet, of course, remember, started P2 in this race, so he's down 3 positions already. Started on the medium tyre, didn't get a good run off the line, and then into turn 1, he just got completely outplayed on the outside line by Cooper, which took him out, really, of the fight for the top 3. Then found himself with a Master coming on through in the Aston Martin. He's been behind him ever since. We have just had a couple of pit stops come through. Captain Blackburn's just gone into the pits, off the mediums after 12 laps, onto the hard tyres. So 5 people, Dita, already choosing the hard tyres to run long for 24 or so laps.
Yeah, it's interesting. We've seen so many tracks lately, people not liking the hard tyre and not many people using it, but here looks like might be the favourable tyre as Tudor and Evil Blade go side by side into turn 1. No issues there, good racing from those two. But Tudor looks to be struggling on this stint towards the later stages of it. And now is falling into the grasp of Dynasty, which is interesting because they're all on soft still, Dynasty and Evil. So then
Yeah.
maybe Tudor is just struggling on his mediums.
He might have just cooked them a little bit too much. I mean, you know, get a little bit too much heat into the medium tyres, they will start to wear away pretty quickly. And I do wonder if maybe that's just it. Or he's just made a couple of small mistakes. I mean, he's in a high-pressure situation. You know, he's driving against some really good drivers here in Division 4. At a circuit like this, you know, one small mistake, you're offline, and then someone will stick their nose in. It's the only way it actually works at a track like this. There's really nowhere else to overtake. It's either DRS or the driver in front makes a little bit of a mistake. So a couple of small mistakes there from Tudor, really costing him positions at the moment. Still, P8, very, very respectable out on track, and he does know that the driver ahead, who's on softs, that's Evil Blade, will be coming into the pits at some point, as we do see Dynasty Sparrow come into the pits and jump off those soft tyres. He's not the first to jump off the soft tyres, but he is actually one of the last. Only Evil Blade, 14 laps on the softs, and Pep, 14 laps on the softs.
Yeah, interesting there. He'll be way quicker now than the guys around him. Trying to use an undercut, I guess you could say, to benefit from that. He will use a little bit more wear, I guess you could say, but interesting. First Merc in, will Pep follow? I think he will.
Yeah, I think he will. He's out of slipstream range too, so he won't be getting DRS any longer.
No, he won't. And the minute he starts to get slower, he probably would want to jump off those tyres. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But Wogjet now past Master Zark, but still under pressure from Master Zark, so he's definitely not in the clear. And now Master will have a chance with DRS. Moving a little further down, Tudor still hanging on the back of Evil Blade. But are we going to see, there you go, Pep's dived into the pits to jump off the softs.
And interestingly, so has Wogjet. After making that overtake, he's decided, you know what, I need a fresh set of wheels. So let's see what he ends up going out onto. I mean, Pep guaranteed to be on the medium tyres, but mediums to hard. So Wogjet copying what the rest of the field from P16 down have done and gone from the medium tyre or a soft tyre to a hard tyre. And he is going to be banking on that for 20 laps. That's fascinating. I'm really interested to see how he goes with this, because I get the feeling that you'll probably see Master either jump onto he'll probably jump onto a hard tyre as well, I would assume.
Yeah, that's an interesting strategy, and I'm wondering if the hards are just the better tyre. We're seeing a lot of people opt for them, which is interesting because, like I said, most races we've had lately have people not like the hard tyre at all. Bahrain, anywhere.
And arguably, we've just seen Pep go 14, nearly 15 laps on the soft tyre. I don't know why Wogjet would be going medium hard. I'd assume that a soft to medium or soft to hard strategy would have been better in that case. So clearly the degradation on the softs isn't actually as bad as I probably thought it was. So it makes me wonder what the thinking from Wogjet has been. Maybe starting on the softs was actually the right thing to do, certainly for Pep. It's worked out over this first stint for him.
Yeah, it could have been a mistake too. You never know with the way the tyres are selected. We'll have to wait and see. Cooper the Bot really applying some pressure on Ricciardo now. I'm hoping that my mic's better again, Josh. I'm not sure if that's fixed. Really pushing him through this sector. He will be wanting to get through, but when do these guys pull the trigger? I mean, they don't. I guess if they're going longer to jump onto the softs, they'll have to keep going. But Wogjet, you can see, is already falling well off the back of Pep and into the grass of Metal God and Evil Blade. So,
yeah, I'm interested in this because if they can get to 18 laps through, then go for the pit stop, they can jump onto another set of mediums.
Yeah, they could. And a safety car could change everything too, if anything. So don't rule that out as well. As Cooper the Bot's now in P1.
There we go. Cooper manages to find his way through in turn 1 on the inside this time, unlike what he did on lap 1, where he thought, I'm just going to do the Max Verstappen line around there. There's a secret extra little bit of grip out on the outside of turn 1 just for Max Verstappen. He's the only one that knows about it, him and Cooper, clearly. But that outside line does have plenty of grip, and this time it was a nice clean overtake, and Ricciardo really got nothing to do on that one. When the DRS opens and they're right there, well, that's it. Fastest lap coming in from Dynasty Sparrow on the medium tyre to 111.942. So we'll get himself that nice little purple flag next to his name. Love to see it. So he's on a bit of a push right now. Wants to get that P9 position away from Evil Blade, and those guys have been duking it out a little bit this session so far on a similar strategy too. 2 and 3 laps on the medium so far, so they've just completed their pit stop, and now the battle for the bottom of the top 10 is going to be absolute fire.
Yeah, absolutely. Dynasty's done well to chop through the field here. If he can use Evil Blade to toll him, these guys could catch to the back of Wildjet relatively without much pressure, with being on the quick tyre for now. So yeah, they might want to work together here to get up to Wildjet. Dynasty definitely in a good spot here. Cooper the Bot back down to P2.
Yeah, I think we're going to be seeing this back and forth the entire time. It's a very long pit straight. So as long as you focus on that good exit through the final corner, turn 14, Irie Luyendijk, I believe it's called. So love these corner names here at Zandvoort. Impossible to pronounce, very funny out of context.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't even bother trying to pronounce them. As we see, the kicks looking really strong here. P2, P4. So they would love to finish where they are right now, maybe even better, but looking good in this later start of the race. There's not long to go, about 16 laps left. So these boys will be starting to switch on.
Yeah, I think this is where, jumping onto another set of medium tyres is going to be the strategy. I mean, why not? They've obviously lasted this long and they're still plenty fast. So, just got to see exactly where Two-Door Master do pop out after their pit stops. The top 6 at the moment, all on 18 laps. Old medium tyres. The only other one around the grid is P13 down the racer. By the way, unfortunate for Alpine having another not great race so far down the racer, and P13 also still needs to pit. And there is the trigger pull by Ricciardo.
Yeah,
he's going onto the soft tyres.
Wow. Yeah, so he's going to be able to do that to the end, 15 to 16 laps. We saw Pep do that earlier. So he'll be rapid in this first part of the stint, but he'll need to save a little bit of gas in the tank towards the end.
But interestingly, Dido, he's actually come out behind Pep. So Pep's had a really good 4 laps on those medium tyres, and he's put his foot down. He's finally got grip for the first time in this race after starting on the soft tyres, and he's put on a bit of distance, 1.5 second gap. That'll likely come down with Ricciardo able to exercise those softs to their full extent. But yeah, Pep's done really, really well, and he could find himself right up there, potentially in the lead of this race again, once Cooper the Bot comes in for his pit stop.
Yeah, I think that's what he's hoping for. Pep and Merck and Dynasty, are looking really strong in this race once again, so this could really help them. Ricciardo will be really pushing on this opening stint. He's already gone fastest in that sector, and look, he's already caught Pep straight away.
Wow. Usually I'd be like, 1.5 seconds. Oh, a couple of laps, he'll be there. He's there now. He's there right now, and he's on the rear wing. He's about to come around to the main straight. He will get DRS, so this is going to be a big opportunity for Ricciardo. What's he going to be able to do? Pep's trying to overtake Sammy the Slammer there, and they're going to be nearly 3 wide. Is there going to be an inside lunge for Ricciardo? Does decide to back out of it, but nearly goes into the rear of Pep under braking. That was incredibly close.
Yeah, that was way too close than they would have hoped, I think. but they did well to prevent any sort of incident there, and Ricciardo on an absolute charge, isn't he?
Yeah, I wouldn't like to be Pep right now. That's a rear mirror that's saying objects in the mirror appear larger than they are. Or don't appear as large as they are. I never forget. I never get that quote right, but it's that thing from Jurassic Park. Anyway, Pep is certainly seeing a rather large Aston Martin in his rear vision right now. And this sector will be especially good for the soft tyres, except that you need to just be careful of the wear. And I just look at the body language of Ricciardo's car at the moment. He is pushing those tyres very, very hard right now.
Yeah, he needs to be careful that he doesn't burn them out in 2 laps. He's got a long stint towards the end. He has to get to the end on them unless there's a safety car. So yeah, but at the same time, if he doesn't use that tyre advantage now,
Whoa! Big mistake for Pep, and he's gone into the wall. He's got it slightly sideways. I think that was Pep. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, it was Pep.
It was Pep. So Pep got it all wrong on the throttle too early on, well, I don't know, there's a little bump on the exit of turn 14 just as you got the full throttle on, and yeah, he sent it sideways into the other side of the track barrier.
Yeah, I don't know if he made contact with anyone there, or it was just a mistake. We'll have to wait and see.
The only possibility,
Stewards will have to investigate that one for sure.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is if maybe Ricciardo got a way better exit through turn 14. They just tagged the rear. Might have been a bit of netcode involved. In the meantime, Ricciardo has made easy work of Two-Door Gaming, who is sitting in P3 on 21 lap-old mediums. So that was always going to be an easy overtake. And now Ricciardo needs to make the most of the clean air he's got in front of him, because Cooper the Bot is in the pit. And with Pep having that issue, he's falling way, way behind now. So this is a huge moment for Ricciardo. He's coming around the final corner and onto the main straight. Cooper's still in the pits, has switched to the soft tyres as well. Will be 2 laps fresher than Ricciardo. This is going to be a key moment through turn 1. Got to get this absolutely right. Fastest lap by Master in the background. Another fastest lap for the Aston Martin to 111.7. And that is it. Ricciardo is 3.3 seconds ahead of Cooper after the pit stop.
Yeah, he's timed that to perfection, but he has used a lot of that tyre to get to that spot. But if he can just slow up now and just start to preserve his tyres a bit, and if Master can get in between those two, Cooper and Ricciardo, they might be able to work together here, and Ricciardo might be able to save a little bit more of his tyres to benefit from this. But this race is definitely getting exciting. Dynasty really close to Evil Blade. There's also a battle between Two-Door and Metal, which Metal hasn't pitted yet. Neither has, well, Kotze has, but they are on the slower tyre. So yeah, mate, Ricciardo looking really strong. If he can just keep breaking away, but that gap's already coming down a little bit.
Yep, there will be a period here where those fresher softs are going to be way, way faster. And Cooper, we know how quick he can be, especially on race pace. So we shall see. And yeah, Two-Door Gaming on fresh softs as well. Master does decide to go and do yet another fastest lap. I'm sure his engineers coming over the radio at some point saying, look, I know you like to be fast, mate, but just look after the tires a little bit, please, okay? Interestingly, though, Dino, my eye is actually on Wogjet, on the hard tires. Now, he's not going to experience anywhere near the degradation these guys on the softs are. I mean, even Cooper is going to be running to 13 or 14 laps. We've seen it possible with Pep, but he was losing a little bit of pace towards the end. So will the hard tire maybe be in the right spot towards the end? I'm not 100% sure, but my eye is certainly on Wogjet towards the end of this race. He has a possibility for a top 3 finish today.
Yeah, absolutely. If he can hold off these guys from behind until these tyres sort of become the best tyre, he's definitely within a shot. Because he is obviously Evil Blade. 3.2 seconds still could really apply some pressure to Wogjet, in my opinion, but who knows? There's a lot of guys on the hard tyres. And he doesn't look uncomfortable on them, but we'll have to wait and see. If the guys in front start battling, definitely Wogjet can pick up the scraps. Dynasty is still really close to Eagle Blade, so is he going to go for the move? They're on the same strategy, so this is for position now.
Yeah, Cooper does go with the fastest lap at 111.1, and he has managed to cut 1.8 seconds out of Ricciardo since coming out of the pit stop 2 laps ago. So that gap is rapidly coming down, nearly a second a lap. So Cooper is going to make this very, very difficult for Ricciardo, and Ricciardo is just going to get into worse and worse trouble as we head through the remainder of this race. 11 laps to go, so we shall see exactly what happens. But nonetheless, great stuff. Many different strategies all coming back together, and the tapestry of this race is certainly starting to weave itself together. Our prediction's still completely invalid, of course. And at some point, we'll have to start talking about driver of the day. Sector 1 yellow, I think that's just a car moving out of the way. It is. Jeneth just getting out of the way for the runners coming on through.
Yeah, still our closest battle's still between the two RBs, but they're not really fighting, and obviously Evil Blade and Dynasty. So we're right on board with Dynasty still and Evil Blade, because sooner or later he will get this move done, I believe. So he's got DRS again, he's burning this time around, so he might be sick of sitting in the back of the McLaren. Looks like he's going to go for it into turn 1, no issues, but can he hold him off and break that DRS? Meanwhile, Cooper the bot is now 0.1 of a second off a DRS on the leader.
This is going to be good for Cooper. He has done pretty well so far qualifying. He was top spot in Q1 and then was not Q1 top, not top in Q2 and Q3, and we had others on the grid that were putting in some great times, but landed himself, I believe, if I recall correctly, P3 in this race, and yeah, done incredibly well so far. And this strategy he's executed has been absolutely brilliant. He's looked after those mediums in the first stint incredibly well, bought himself an extra 3 laps on Ricciardo, who has been fighting all the way through this race, and now look where he is. He's on 3 lap better tires. He's 0.5 of a second away from Ricciardo. Through the last corner we go. Wing will open up, and a big DRS slipstream is going to bring him within shooting distance in a few moments time, and this is going to be where Ricciardo starts to really sweat just that little bit more. He's going to be feeling the pressure. I'm not going to lie, I don't think I'd want to be Ricciardo right now.
Yeah, I think he was hoping to be a lot further away with that undercut that he tried to do, but it hasn't really gone in his favour, and now Cooper the bot is in all sorts of passing range. He's really trying to get past here. Dynasty still looking really dangerous on Evil, but we're right on board with this, as this is getting really heated. Can Ricciardo hold him off? Oh, they're so close. Cooper the bot's basically pushing him through this sector. One mistake here, and this is a big issue. These boys are doing really well. Cooper the bot on absolute edge here, pushing the Aston through the sectors. So we're just right on board with them, because I think we're about to see a move here. But this is going to go coming right in to the end.
Certainly will, yeah. Well, it may end up ending a lot sooner than we think. Depends on how good this run through the last couple of corners is. Up to Kumo, and that's turn 13, and now into Irie, turn 14. Lovely sweeping right-hander, big DRS opportunity here, and he's super, super close. Is Cooper. He's going to swing out already. Doesn't need any time in the slipstream whatsoever. DRS is open, and that's going to be it. Cooper manages to find his way up into P1. Ricciardo can't do a thing about it at all. Little moment on the exit there for Cooper, but does hold on to the position. And unfortunately for Ricciardo, he's on older tyres, and he's now going to watch a Kick Sauber drive away from him. 28 laps through, 8 laps to go, and what can Ricciardo do now?
Well, he'll be praying to stay in the DRS of Cooper. Cooper will be absolutely chucking it all out on the line to try and get away from him. He is on the faster tyre now, 3-lap tyre advantage. So it's Cooper's race to lose at this stage. Ricciardo needs to really stay in that DRS of him. Otherwise, I think he's going to struggle to win this. But 8 tenths now.
Yeah. Couple of corners to go through a low speed section of the track. Turn 11, turn 12. Here we go into the stadium area. It's a pretty decent run for Cooper. Doesn't look as good for Ricciardo. Has found a little bit of time on exit. Held a bit more time.
I thought that was a retirement, but that is in the pits, so no problems there. Kiwi calling it quits after 28 laps.
Yeah, it looks like Flying Kiwi did get himself a 3-second time penalty as well, and really not being any point in running the remainder of the race. That's sad to see him out, of course, for Haas. I think the big story here, though, at the moment is Aston Martin, and this is a big comeback race against Mercedes in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes leading by a fair chunk of points, but sitting in P6 and P10. Pep clearly has come in to sort the damage that he got in that incident. Ricciardo fighting back still, but Aston Martin in the box seat, and this is big points for them today if they get this result.
Yeah, they'll be absolutely trying to secure this, that was a Haas rolling off track there, but yeah, if they can secure this, massive points on store for Aston. Ricciardo's still not out of this for the race win, hasn't locked DRS, so don't rule him out yet. You see if he can wind Cooper the Bot down to the end, who knows. Dynasty also looking really dangerous on the back of Evil Blade still. These guys are going all the way to the end as well, but the two RBs very close. Coxie and Uncle Morty still battling out on track, but other than that, everyone is relatively split apart and doing their own thing. So we will keep just riding on board with these battles because they are the closest.
And here goes Ricciardo up the inside. And there's a little bit of contact between the two in turn one. Ricciardo has made the move. Stick, though. Great stuff. A late lunge into turn one has given him the advantage in this race. And there he is. I do get the feeling, they're side by side as they head into the S's section. This is so tricky. And Cooper, yet again, finding himself in second place. But he's looking sideways, looking left, looking right, in every single direction that he possibly can. But Ricciardo, I mean, he's been more familiar with the state of the tyres as it is right now, and I think Cooper is suddenly ending up in that tyre degradation area, and he's just having to get familiar with it again, and then Ricciardo's just beating him with experience on these tyres on this circuit today.
Yeah, absolutely. Cooper the Bot, though, he did have 100% of battery, so he's very comfortable still. So these boys will just be trying to wind each other down and pick and choose where to pass. They've got a healthy gap back to Master's Arc, but don't forget that Ricciardo is teammates with Master, so he'll be hoping his teammate can get up there and help him.
Yeah, but 5 seconds gap, I think it's elevated quite a bit, and Cooper will now drive on past Ricciardo, so it's a DRS battle this time between these two, and I think that's what we're going to see for the remainder of the race. So if we extrapolate a little bit here, well, let's try to, because, as you know, Dido, doing math on stream, not a great idea, but, I'm going to chance it. See if I can figure it out. Cooper on lap 31, lap 32 it'll be Ricciardo, lap 33 it'll be Cooper, lap 34 it'll be Ricciardo, lap 35 it'll be Cooper, lap 36 Ricciardo wins. So there you go. If the DRS battle continues switching around like that, it will be Ricciardo that gets it on the final lap. But whoever is on that second to last lap, or final lap I should say, and gets a good DRS out of turn 14 is probably going to be the winner.
Yeah, I think you get to a certain point when you're the top two, 5 seconds back, you start to think about that, and Ricciardo is probably definitely hoping to be behind. Cooper the Bot looks to be really, really good with his battery management at this stage, Ricciardo as well, but Cooper the Bot does have a bit of an edge on him. He's on 92, and he's going to burn it down the straight, so I think Cooper the Bot still has a little bit pace on Ricciardo, but Ricciardo's done really well to hang in there at this later part of the race. And I couldn't pick which one of them is going to win it. I think one mistake could really decide it too. 4 laps left.
Well, we are 4 laps left, so it's time for us to talk about driver of the day. Let us know in Twitch chat for all you folks who are watching out there at the moment. Thank you all for tuning in through this Division 4 race, round 7 at the Dutch Grand Prix. Do let us know who you think your driver of the day is. We want a lot of votes in chat, so get typing. Let us know who's done the best in your eyes. Vote for your driver of the day, and then it's up to us now, Dido, to figure out our driver of the day as well. And I am not even sure where to look, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, it'd be hard to ignore Dynasty. He's up 7 spots. He's in a solid drive for Merc. Also be hard to ignore Ricciardo. My pick's gonna be Dynasty.
Cool. I think.
I think
that's that is Paddock gone from this race. It looks like. So it's unfortunate for McLaren. In terms of driver of the day, we've got 1 vote in chat saying Ricciardo. Excellent. We've got Cooper as well coming in as a vote. So whoever's the last one to type into chat, we do take that as the final option. I think for me, it's going to have to be. I'm struggling because I want Evil Blade. I think Evil Blade's done fantastic this race. A little bit of a quiet one, but he's done fantastic trying to hold off some really, really top drivers. So I think I'm going to go with Evil Blade, and we'll give it a few more seconds and let chat put a few more options in. Then we'll take that, and then we'll do the vote at the end of the end of the race and choose between. You said Dynasty. I've said Evil Blade, and we're waiting now for the final vote in chat.
Yeah, hopefully SJ or someone's in there that can chuck the poll up, or if that's what they're doing. But yeah, if not, just get your votes in, guys. But it's very hard to pick a driver of the day for a race like that. I think there's a few people that deserve it. Looking back up the top though, this battle between the top two is undecided. Ricciardo's still just in DRS, so can he hang in there for 3 more laps, bring it to the last lap? Cooper the Bot's used all of his battery. Ricciardo has as well, so these guys are really pushing. They will have to start saving it.
We've got Plugger in the chat saying bias, all caps. I think he might be referring to my choice of a McLaren driver. I don't know, maybe. I'm not sure. Either way, those two have actually been changing positions, Dynasty and Evil, so great stuff. And I'm going to ignore the rest of the votes there. I think we've got Wogjet is the other vote. Has lost 2 positions in this race, unfortunately, but I guess he's done a pretty decent job. So there are our 3 options. And I think, Dido, it actually just comes down to us deciding and discussing and deciding who the driver of the day is. I believe that's how we run it this time.
Yeah, I think it's Dynasty in my opinion, but I would agree with Evil as well. But a Dynasty's, he has made up a lot of ground tonight, and has had to also defend the same sort of people as Evil.
Yep. And of course, shouldering the burden of the Constructors' Championship lead and getting the best result he possibly can for Mercedes. So, yeah, it does look like we're swinging Dynasty's way at the moment. Evil has had a great race, but you know, at the end of the day, it's 4 positions gained versus 7. And so I think sounds like Dynasty is going to be our driver of the day, assuming nothing else spectacular happens in the remainder of this race. Speaking of the race that we're on, 35th lap, so white flags are now basically about to come out to signal the last lap of the race. Once we come across the line one final time, Cooper still in the lead for Kick Sauber, and he's got a 0.6 second gap over Ricciardo. Ricciardo's got to make it happen. It's got to happen in a lap and a half's time, or it will not happen at all. Master has fallen right off the back of these two, 10-second gap back to P3, but he's got 7 seconds gap to Wogjet, so all but secured in the podium position for Master. And Aston Martin looking to take home at least a 3rd position today. Could be a 1-3 or a 2-3. Only time will tell. And if it's not a 1-3, it'll be Cooper who wins this race as we head through the last couple of corners before we head onto the 36th and final lap of Division 4 Round 7's race. Here we go. Slipstream is in effect. DRS is open for Ricciardo. He's not going to get close enough for an overtake here. He might be biding his time. Wants to open up the rear wing. The last time we head through the final corner, that'll be his best shot, I think.
Oh.
Cooper's battery at 53% right now, and we do have 40% for Ricciardo. So battery advantage to the Kick Sauber.
Yeah, not what you want for Ricciardo at this stage. He's just hanging on there. He's got one more opportunity, I guess you could say, through this middle sector, and then he has to do it all in that last straight. But he's running out of time here. Really used a lot of his battery. Cooper got 54% still, so he's still got plenty of time to burn down the end. I don't think Ricciardo's got it in him in the car, in the tyres to get this done. Cooper the Bot has left it to the last minute and has more battery. Big lock up there for the kick. Aston's giving it everything here.
Oh, this is where he needs to be, though. Ricciardo needs to be this close. We're heading into turn 13. This is it. The rear wing will open in a moment's time. There it is. He's pretty close, but I don't think he's close enough. A little bit of a wiggle. No DRS at all to use, and Cooper will take the checkered flag in what's been a brilliant defense of P1 from Ricciardo. Excellent work by the Kick Sauber, and they go back to the top spot. They take it away from the Aston Martins. They take it away from the Mercedes. Cooper the Bot is your winner today. Ricciardo P2 and Master, both Aston Martin drivers in the top 3. A P2, P3 finish for them. Then it'll be Wogjet and Dynasty. Wonderful work. Wow, that was close between those guys.
That was close between Dynasty and Evil Blade there. Tudor almost just snatching both of them across the line. That's what we want to see. Good racing from everyone there. Uncle Morty P9, Kotzi will cross the line in P10. Actually, no, he might drop out of this with his penalty. And Sammy might jump into the top 10. No, just did enough. Kotzi did so. Oh, another battle to the line between Metal God and Salmons. It looks like Salmons just gets that done.
There we go, a few things being applied. So Kotze will hold on to P10 there, only just. Sammy the Slammer comes home in P11. Great race, absolutely fantastic stuff from Division 4 once again. Your winner today, Cooper, for Kick Sauber, comes into this race, sets the qualifying ablaze, and takes home the win. Fantastic stuff from the fluoro green liveried car. And Dynasty, your driver of the day today. So congratulations to Dynasty, and congratulations to the Aston Martins as well. That is a result that is going to bring them ever closer to the Mercedes in the Constructors' Championship, and it will have impact on the Drivers' Championship too. Fantastic work by the two of them. Ricciardo and Master turning out to be quite the masterful team.
Yeah, that was a solid drive from those two, and they'll be absolutely happy with that. Massive point for Aston. And Cooper at the bot getting the win there. Great drive from him. We'll see if we can get these guys in the comms box as quick as possible, because Div 2 is not far away. So hopefully everyone can get in, no problems there. Both Astons and the kick of Cooper. But yeah, awesome race from everyone there. No safety cars. Few guys probably prayed for one.
Yeah, because we said before, the hard tyre runners were probably praying for a safety car, because it didn't really turn out to be the strategy at all. I mean, what we ended up seeing there is really mediums and softs were the call. Pep took the softs pretty far at the beginning of the race and then switched on to the mediums, and it worked out for him, in fact, beautifully well. He would have been right in there for the battle for P1 if he had not made that small mistake on the last corner as Ricciardo was chasing him down. Opposite strategy there was used by Ricciardo and Cooper. Started on the medium tyres, held on to Pep, and then switched onto the softs for the last part of the race, and it worked out quite nicely. Cooper, of course, with the 3-lap advantage on the tyres. I think that made all the difference at the end of the day. He could defend harder, he could make that overtake, and it worked out for him very well. We do have our top 2 or 3 in the commentary box, so take it away, Dido.
I'm just seeing who has jumped in. Looks
Got Master.
Master in the Aston, mate. You there?
Yep.
Made another great drive, another podium for you and Aston. Just take us a bit through there. You obviously look like you obviously couldn't catch the top 2 in the end stint there, but just trying to bring home that podium position. Just tell us a little bit about your race, mate, and how it went the way it did.
Yeah, so honestly, everything went pretty well, but everything was great. But everything but my pace wasn't that good to keep up with the top 3. But yeah, I had a bit of a battle with our Wogjet. I think we were sitting P4, P5. I was hoping me and him could work together to catch up to the back of P3, but no, I don't think I even turned on DRS once to catch up while I was behind P3. So yeah, the top 3 were unbelievable, and yeah, also yeah, pretty intense race as well.
Yeah, mate, it was. But you must be absolutely stoked for the points with your team. Obviously, P2, P3 is big points, and really helps in your battle with Merck, obviously in the constructors. So you must be happy with that.
Yeah, very, very happy. Big ups to Ricciardo. He was really great this weekend. I'm pretty sure he got pole. Unlucky for him at the end, but yeah, it's just one of the best results we could have gotten this weekend, and yeah, this really helps with our battle. Yeah.
Yeah, well done, mate, and I'll pass you over to Kung Fu.
Yeah, Master, congratulations, mate. P3, excellent work there. I mean, you did drop off that top 2 battle quite a significant amount towards the end. I mean, the tyres here, it seemed like a tricky decision. Start on the softs, go to the mediums go to the softs. What was your thinking around the strategy here today? What convinced you that that your strategy was the right one?
Oh well, the team came up with this strategy. I was a bit skeptical at first, but I was like, it was worth a shot, because like I was like mediums. I thought the softs, the softs were actually really good towards the end. Even though like my left front was at like, I don't know, 70%, I felt like they were like, I don't know, 10% at most. It's quite shockingly good. So yeah, the strategy was impeccable. Awesome strategy.
Yeah, congratulations. Well, P3, take it home, enjoy it, and thank you very much. Good luck for next round, and yeah, celebrate well.
Thank you.
Alright, so we'll jump over to the other Aston of Ricciardo or XRS. How are you, mate?
Good.
Made another solid drive, so close to a P1. Obviously battled Cooper the Bot pretty much the whole race. just looked like he just didn't have the tyre life or the battery in the end there to get the win. Just tell us a little bit about that final stage, mate.
Yeah, so to keep up with Cooper, I had to burn a little. Cooper's just too fast, man. Yeah, that's all it was.
Yeah.
I couldn't save enough VRS for the final straight because I was trying to keep up with him throughout the lap. So yeah, that was the best I could do.
Yeah, still a massive result. Obviously, we were talking to Master just then about it, and massive points for you and your team, and you must be happy with that.
Yeah, great result for Aston. It must have been this weekend.
Well,
Fantastic. Well,
yeah, well done, mate.
yeah, the final battle there, Ricciardo, I do want to quickly ask, there was a back and forth, you were both getting slipstream and all of that sort of stuff. Were you trying to back off for those last couple of laps, just trying to build up the ERS to get that final push over the line? Because you got it done very cleanly a couple of times very early on, through that battle. It was sort of 8 laps of battling that you guys had. So what went wrong with that? Was it just the ERS, or was it just not close enough through turn 13 and 14?
Yeah, so I was trying to save it for the last lap to overtake Cooper, but obviously he saved because he knew I was doing that, and he just burned the whole way down, so couldn't overtake him. Yeah,
Okay, and
he countered my plan.
Yeah, that's right. And coming out of the pits, you had a 3.3 second gap lead, but of course a 3-lap deficit on tyres. So seeing Cooper chasing you down there must have been pretty stressful.
Yeah, it was pretty annoying. It's like, damn, 3 seconds, and then it all goes away.
Yeah. Well, either way, it was a fantastic race. We really enjoyed watching your race today. You're absolutely on the ball right now. Aston take home a huge amount of points, as do you in the Drivers' Championship. Congratulations on P2, mate. Well done.
Thank you, guys.
All right, jumping over to P1. Cooper the bot, mate, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Made a massive drive from you, obviously getting signed not long ago, really putting a showcase on tonight, battling out with Ricciardo the whole race. Just tell us a little bit about your strategy and what you were thinking towards the end there.
I was always planning to start on the mediums and go as long as I could into the race before moving to the softs, knowing that I would have to play some catch up because obviously the undercut worked for the Aston, so just had to put my head down, make sure to catch that gap up, which I was able to do. Just do my how I say it, just be there at the end and not game mornings and try and Tony Hawk it through the sector.
Yeah, mate, you did really well. Really well. Obviously, bringing home the win. Massive points for you and Kick. Teammate did really well as well. So you must be absolutely stoked with the result for your team and just happy with that.
Yeah, very happy. Well done to Tudor as well for getting up to P7, I believe it was.
Yeah. Well done, mate, from me, and I'll hand you over to Kung Fu.
All right, congrats on the win there, Cooper. Really, really good stuff. I want to take you back to lap 1, mate. That overtake on the outside. Talk us through that, because that was stunning.
To be honest, I don't quite remember it, to be honest.
Well, it happened basically like this. Wogjak got a woeful start. Pep got a great start. So did Ricciardo. And then you managed to overtake 2 or 3 cars on the outside of turn 1 and slot yourself into P2 pretty much from the get-go. So it was a good overtake that sort of ironically kicked things into gear.
Yeah, I was just trying to hang around the outside and make sure to leave room for others, so that way I can't get penalties and stuff for turning in. So that was the plan.
Yeah. Well, it was a good race overall. You managed the strategy really, really well. On the end of the medium stint there, you went 3 laps longer. Was the car still feeling okay at that point with the medium tyres?
Yeah, tyres were still in a good spot, so felt good to carry on.
Fantastic. All right, well, big congratulations. Well done. And we'll see you for round 8.
Thank you.
All right, well, that's it. That's it for Div 4 at Netherlands, and what a race it was. And after all the technical difficulties, luckily we got it all sorted towards the end and had a good race on stream, and got a good battle on action too. So yeah, that's it from us. I'll thank our sponsors, AI369 especially, and obviously all the rest as well, for Div 4. And we don't have long before Div 2, legitimately 10 minutes before that lobby opens. But if that's all from you, Comfort, unless you got anything to say before we wrap it up.
Well, the only other thing I want to say is a big thanks to yourself, Dido, for jumping in on the technical side once again. Really appreciate it, so we could have a stream today. So, ladies and gentlemen in the chat, give this man a round of applause. He is an absolute legend, puts in copious amounts of hours in the background to keep things moving. So, big thanks to yourself, Dido.
Thank you, mate. I do appreciate it. Thank you, guys. I'm pretty sure I'm commentating next for Div 2 too, so don't go too far. We'll get that on the action as well, but we'll wrap that up so the boys can get into the lobby. But thanks, guys, and we'll see you next week. Cheers.